What is up, my Gaggle of Geeks, and welcome to tonight's episode, where we're going to be talking about a bevy of things. We're going to be discussing we're getting more Hollywood news. Now that things are opening up, we're finding out more stuff, and we're learning more things about certain films that come out on streaming services. We're going to talk a little more about that. But first, I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host. You guys already know him. Chaz, how's it going, my man?
It's Wednesday. It's good.
I know, we're doing it on Wednesday. That's strange, right?
Yeah, it is kind of strange.
Usually it's on a Friday, and we're still planning on doing a Friday one because I just like the routine of it. And I didn't tell Chaz until yesterday about that, which was also very, very polite of me. But I'm really excited with the guests that we have today because I'm really excited to hear their opinions on these topics. First, she is a co-host on the Latinx Lens podcast and a member of the Hollywood Critics Association. It's Rosa's Reviews. How's it going, Rosa?
It's good.
Oh yeah, and I didn't tell you guys at the beginning with this because I realized that a lot of time when I put a sound effect on, it just stops everything. Just talk over it. Like it's just like an annoying little brother trying to talk. That's what the sound effects are. How's it going?
Thank you. It's going good. It's going really good. I can't complain. It's going good.
How has been the podcast going with everything?
Yeah, well, we're set to debut. It was set to debut on the 2nd, but we decided to postpone it until the 16th of this month, for obvious reasons. And everything's going good. We've got a couple episodes recorded already, and we're just excited for it to debut. We just can't wait.
Oh, very cool. Well, yeah. We're excited to have you on, and I also wanted to introduce our next guest that is a award winner. He won Best Actor in the Utah Film Awards for Before Your Time, and he's already worked with Chaz on some of their projects. Please welcome Landon Kasdan. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you? Over that.
Yeah. All right, I'm Dude, you've been really vocal in the social media sphere with sharing all our stuff, and I've just noticed you in the Utah sphere with all the film work that you've been doing, and Chaz recommended you, and yeah, I think it's cool that we've got two people here that I don't know, you guys are like you guys have inside jokes that you can just like fist bump from here. You can fist bump from below, and then he can fist bump from above.
Nope. Go. Yep. Ready?
You
3,
go up.
2, 1.
No, you go up.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing? You're so off.
I'm hitting all sides.
What are you guys doing?
Hey, wait, Patrick. Where am I at on your screen?
You're on the top left.
So.
And then you're on the bottom left. Yeah, that was it. And then you punch up. There you go. Yeah. That's the show, guys. Welcome, and we will see you at the next review. Good day. Oh my gosh. But no, this is exciting to have you guys. And we are going to be talking about some things that definitely not as heavy as last episode. However, we did want to mention that we still have all of the links to where you can go donate and support for the Black Lives Matter movement, and also where you can go to reach out to your congressman, to anybody in your local political sphere, and demand change the way that you want it. So those links will be down below. But what we wanted to talk about first is, I guess, one of the best pieces of news that you could get in a time where there's civil unrest and insanity happening, where you think the world's going to end and there needs to be something. The Bill and Ted trailer came out. And I am so excited to see this movie. I saw it immediately when it came out, and there's a lot to discuss with this trailer. And I want to start off with Rosa. What did you think when you saw it, and are you excited for Bill and Ted 3?
Yeah. I saw the trailer. I thought it was okay. Unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of the films, so it's not
which one do you like more? Is it a Bogus Journey's Too Weird, or?
I can't say because I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet. I haven't heard good things about it, so it hasn't been a priority at the moment. But I mean, I guess my opinion in this case isn't really as valid as I wanted it to be, just because I only seen one movie.
Oh,
I
whatever.
really
But
enjoyed the
I
first
think
film,
it's
though.
just as valid as any of ours. So the first one, I've watched it recently, and I agree in a lot of senses it's kind of dated. Like a lot of the jokes are a little dated, but
Yeah.
it's maybe something like I know a lot of people that go back and watch the Goonies that maybe haven't seen it before now kind of think it's a little
Hmm.
overhyped. I wonder if
Hmm.
that's a similar situation. But Landon, have you seen the Bill and Ted films before, and what are you thinking about this trailer going in?
I have seen Bill and Ted, and I love Bill and Ted. It's just such a refreshment to my youth. Back in the '90s. It's just so nice to kind of see it back again. I'll be honest. I don't know. I have a hard time with when they just kind of revive something after such a long period of time, because sometimes you see that and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it fails horribly. A good example is Ghostbusters. I mean, I hope it does really well, because I love Keanu Reeves, and it's just great to see him portray that role again. The trailer was funny, especially the prison scene. I don't know, I just thought that was gold.
Oh my
But
God, the prison scene was so good. There were so many bits that thinking like me growing up, I watched Bill and Ted and Bill and Ted Bogus Journey. They had some sequences that scarred me as a child. In Bogus Journey, when they have the hell sequence where they all go into their own little personal chambers and they see what they would be living with for eternity, and it's like their worst possible outcome. Oh my God. As a kid, scared the shit out of me. But then they had the Grim Reaper, who's like one of the best characters ever. Isn't and the way that they get out of hell to play chess games and board games and Battleship, it's the weirdest movie ever. Chaz, do you think they're going to keep that weirdness, especially with what Landon was saying, that last sequence where you see Bill and Ted? At first, I didn't recognize it was them until they cut back to it for a sec. What do you think?
I hope they keep the weirdness of it. Because I know earlier, on a different podcast, I think we were talking with somebody. I don't remember who. We said it was going to be more of a cult following.
Kind of like a Kevin Smith film.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to do in theaters, but it was watching
if there's theaters.
Yeah, if there's theaters.
Theater
well, I mean, watching that in the middle of this depressing time, it's probably the best highlight of the whole month, which I never thought I would say for a Bill and Ted trailer, because it's something I was looking forward to, but it's not something that was on my list. I had to watch immediately, and
gotcha.
That morning I watched it, and I had to rewatch it again because I was laughing, and I'm it's pretty sad that this is the best.
This is where we're at
right now.
This is the darkest timeline. Speaking of darkest timeline, though, I've heard a rumor or I guess I have a theory of where I think the story's going, and the rumors that I've been hearing is that this is going to be a lot more interdimensional. They're going to different versions of Bill and Ted to try to find the right timeline for something to work out. Those sometimes work, but I think it's the natural progression for what they've done with it. Time travel was first, that it was a parallel universe. Now it's just a full multiverse. I think that would be pretty fun to see. I love that the babes were back in it. I want Station so badly to show up. That you guys remember Station right now?
I don't recall.
How do you not remember Station?
Dude, it's
oh
been
my
so
God.
long since I've seen
Station
those movies.
Are two pieces of poop. They look like it, at least. That poses alien humanoids. But at one point, they're in the shopping mall, and they do this charge up like sumo wrestlers, ram into each other, and become this enormous, big monster thing called Station. It is the weirdest thing. I love this show so much. I'm the only one that can talk about Station, though, and be happy about it.
I'm happy for you.
Yay! But I guess that's all we'll talk about with the Bill and Ted Face the Music trailer. I am excited for it. Do you think that it's a chance it's going to be on VOD more likely than other films?
Probably. I can see it because I don't know, because it does have that Kevin Smith vibe, and that's exactly how he does his stuff.
Yep. All right.
And I know Orion's the one producing it, right?
That was the cool thing, seeing that tag come back up. Like,
and if I
blast
remember,
from the past suddenly. Child's Play had it, but
Child's Play had it. And if I remember correctly, I think Hansel and Gretel, the new one, had it too. If I remember correctly, I might be mistaken, but so that I think it's just like a lower budget tier for sure. So I thought it was cool seeing Keanu Reeves without a beard. So you
thought that was cool?
Yeah,
that scared me.
That
didn't
weird.
work. It still doesn't work. Every time it cut to him, I was like, no. And why was he wearing a button-up shirt? That's so weird.
Dude, he's 50.
He must have been. I know, but like, they saved the universe. Why is he in a button-up? I don't know.
I'm gonna wear a button-up shirt from now on. Just out of spite.
Keanu Reeves will do it, like, of course. But no, I remember they showed like a previous like behind-the-scenes shot of Bill and Ted, and he had the beard, and he looked really good. Maybe they were like, he can't look that good.
Unless
that's way too much John Wick. People
film.
are just gonna be like, it's John Wick.
Do you think we'll see him kick ass like John Wick?
No.
Like he like grabs his guitar and just like swings it at somebody?
No, it's gonna be kick-ass solos and hard metal covers. Like, it's gonna be dope. I want Napoleon back. What if Napoleon shows back up? That'd be dope.
I don't know if it's sad for me to say this, but actually I like Alex Winter's character more than Keanu Reeves' character.
Dude, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. I thought it was something.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
No, seeing him in that trailer, I don't know. For some reason, he just seemed more Bill and Ted vibe than Keanu Reeves. Maybe it was because Keanu Reeves doing John Wick, and I just see him a certain way. But
I think it's because he's clean shaven.
Maybe.
I think it looks off.
Yeah.
Like with Alex Winter, he kind of just looks like slightly more tired version. And
he was so comedic about it.
And with Keanu Reeves, you're like, just give him stubble, give him a little of something. But like the baby smooth is a little too much.
Dude, Alex looks like Casey Neistat. That's why I always like
you and Rosa are good at comparing faces to celebrities, because you both have the same thing when it came to Joe Exotic with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, dude, because that is Keaton, but Nick Cage might pull it off. But
yeah, but we'd all rather Keaton.
Keaton did a good job in Birdman, so I think he can do Joe Exotic.
I want him to do it like Let's Get Nuts scene from Batman, but as
Right.
Joe Exotic. I think that works really well. That's a good tone. Well, let's move in to, I guess that's a good tie-in to Batman, actually, because this is kind of, each of these stories kind of barrel into each other as we go. So first we'll start with Batman, who we now have confirmation, and I don't know why this is as big a story as it is, but we have confirmation that the Joker is going to be in Matt Reeves' trilogy. I don't know why this is news, honestly. Like, who thought that this wasn't going to happen at some point?
Me.
Why though?
Because Joker's so overutilized, like I thought that they could actually shine the light on different people, especially if this is like Batman's earlier stuff, So
I wish I downloaded the hunka hunka sound effect. We were messing with that so much.
Suicide Squad.
The thing about it is it's Joker. Like, if you look, and it's the DC universe more than anything else. DC tries so hard. If you've looked at how many times they revive somebody, this is going to be what, like 6 on Joker? So it's a new Joker.
Well, if you're including like live action TV, stuff like that too, there's a lot of.
Marvel did that with Spider-Man, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Sony did that with Spider-Man, but.
Well, what do you think about this, Rosa? Do you think a Joker is good for a new trilogy, or do you think he's only going to make people draw parallels to other movies and maybe make this less?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest. I'm not going to say biggest, but I'm not well informed and well knowledgeable when it comes to comic book movies and the Batman films and all that. But from what I've seen and everything, I think Batman and Joker are like a yin and yang. It's like obvious he's gonna pop up in the trilogy, and at the end of the day, the movie business is just that, a business, and if Joker makes money, that's what they're gonna go for.
I don't see it being Joaquin Phoenix. I'm pretty sure they've said or confirmed that they're not even going to go in that direction. But somebody did mention Lakeith Stanfield to be the Joker. What are your thoughts on that? If they really went in a different direction with the character.
I have to look up who that is.
Oh, dude,
Lakeith
from Sorry to
Stanfield.
Bother You.
Oh, Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You, both of you, please go and watch that.
Oh, I saw Sorry to Bother You. I've seen that.
That's a much better example of what I'm thinking he could be.
I think that'd be a different angle for sure. Might actually work. You know, he did a great job in both those movies, especially Sorry to Bother You. It's very comedic. And I think with what Rosa was saying is, you know, Joker is Batman's yin and yang. And it's just, you know, just looking at how the Joker movie did in theaters and looking how successful like Harley Quinn is and looking how, you know, successful Heath Ledger was. It's DC, I think in a lot of ways they're desperate. They have to compete with Marvel, and so the only way they know how to compete with Marvel is to pick up their best characters to rival. And in Batman's universe, there's no bigger villain than the Joker, which I know I'm personally a Hush fan and a Bane fan and even a Riddler fan, but you know what? If you have Joker, you have Joker.
So with you being a Riddler fan, are you excited for him being the featured villain in this?
Oh yeah, I love the Riddler. I think you know, mixed feelings with Jim Carrey's version, but you know, I'm more of a comic book
Accuser of the fucking brethren, you motherfucker!
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, great.
But I mean, like, seriously, no, it's like the Riddler is so iconic. You know, he's such a big character with the comic book universe of Batman. And, you know, even with Bane, look at Bane. Like, Bane actually, if I'm right, okay, I'm going to get a lot of hate if I do this wrong, but Bane did show up before the Joker, right?
Nope.
Dang it.
Accuser of the fucking brethren!
I think Bane showed up like in the early 90s or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, I made that wrong. But I'm just saying is like, hey.
I love this so much.
Why did you invite me on?
I don't know. I'm having fun though. I agree though. I think Riddler does deserve a good, honest depiction. I wouldn't really necessarily call Jim Carrey's authentic. I would call it Jim Carrey's Riddler. And I like that. He's weird. Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones is really weird. I don't know what he's doing in that movie. Like, of all of the roles, that is Tommy Lee Jones's weirdest thing he's ever done. Is being like, I'm gonna try to be out crazy Jim Carrey as the Riddler in a Batman film.
That was before Batman and Robin? That was Batman Forever, right?
Yep.
Was that?
Although they had their costumes cameoed in Batman and Robin.
Was that Joel Schumacher, or is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher.
Because he also did Batman and Robin. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, Batman and Robin has its own problems, but it also has its own, I don't know, benefits to being stupid. You know, like the silliness, like The Room is silly. You know, that one is silly in that sense. But you know what else is silly? Having a ton of DC properties and removing them from your streaming service for no reason. Or maybe for a reason. We don't necessarily know. But what we did find out is that HBO Max is going to be doing a couple big overhauls or a couple huge changes. The first one, a little minor as far as like implications for other content and media, but it's still a little bit annoying because me and you, Chaz, I complained about this, that they didn't really have a lot of DC titles on HBO Max. And even the titles that they had, they weren't really necessarily complete. Like, you didn't have Man of Steel, you didn't have any of the Superman films, actually. And the animated wasn't really there, but they still had Justice League, even though they were going for Zack Snyder's. It was really confusing. But now we got news that they're going to be removing them and basically putting it through a carousel and putting up different DC content. I think this is stupid. I had a theory as to why this could be happening. But I want to know what you guys think first, starting with Landon. What do you think about this? Is this HBO Max? It didn't have a good start. Is this going to help it?
I don't know. I think with the situation is they're building up Zack Snyder's cut so much. Why not keep the DC movies as long as they can? You know, I understand that with DC Universe, maybe that has something to do with it because DC Universe has to get their attention. Maybe that's why they want that. But the same point is, you know, why get rid of them? You know, you got the Zack Snyder cut. Keep that boost going. Keep that cycle going with, you know, people are going to want to watch Wonder Woman. People are going to want to watch Justice League, you know, Man of Steel. That can prepare them for Zack Snyder's cut. So in reality, why get rid of those? Why not get rid of Suicide Squad? Who really cares about that?
It's weird. Well, and it's weird specifically with DC, and this is where I kind of have a theory. Mainly because I worked at Netflix and know a little bit of the back end as far as like the data goes with their content and how they work with that. I believe that with it only being DC films that are being taken down, aside from the Gone with the Wind story, that it's likely that they still have a lot of contracts with other streaming companies for these specific titles, and they can only have it for a while. Most contracts with different titles or like it's per movie. It's not like for the entire DC universe, Netflix gets to use it in Brazil for like 5 years. It's like for Justice League, you get it for 2 years. For this, you get it for 3 years. And it seems like Warner Brothers stretched that plan out everywhere. Like all of the CW stuff is on Hulu and is exclusive to Hulu. The DC universe has its own stuff. It seems scattered. I don't understand what the game plan is for it, but do you think that it has something to do with more of the contracts that they've made with other streaming sites, Rosa? Is that something that could be a part of this?
Yeah, that would make the most obvious sense to me, because it wasn't that happening also like with Disney Plus with some of its Marvel films. It had to complete some of the contracts with other streaming services and such. So
I believe
yeah, that
Infinity
would be,
War is still not on Disney Plus right now because of that.
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, that makes the most obvious sense to me. Yeah.
I have no idea where they're going with it though. Like, are you just going to keep like roundabout releasing them? Are you eventually going to put all of the stuff? Chaz, don't look at me like that. I'm upset. Okay. It's upset. It's upsetting. Maybe. I don't know. What's your problem?
Nothing.
I think that, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Chaz? Is this not a big deal? Is it too big a deal?
Get better quality content on there. That's all I'm going to say. Honestly, the only reason I would go through those again is to hype myself up for the Snyder Cut, like Landon was saying. I don't see myself revisiting those anytime soon, though. Maybe the old Batman movies, like that's different, and maybe like the cartoons, perhaps. But like everything else, I don't care.
I would really want to see the animated series more than anything. Like, well, bring in Batman Beyond, bring in Mask of the Phantasm, all of that stuff.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong though. So does Warner Brothers own HBO or something like that?
Yeah, Warner Brothers and AT&T.
Okay.
So AT&T owns Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers hosts HBO and the streaming stuff.
So like, why isn't HBO just becoming an exclusive thing to Warner
I don't know.
Brothers?
I don't get why there's not a migration from the DC app over. Maybe because of the comics side of it. Because you're able to, like, they can't just be like, and also read tons of comic books on HBO Max.
Well, I know. I saw that they were releasing Doom Patrol Season 2 on HBO Max as well.
Yeah, it looks exclusive to it now because they kept that through saying they're removing titles, that they're keeping that one.
So I don't know, but I do question, why is Man of Steel not on there? Like, if this is the whole thing to build up the Snyder Cut, why are they missing stuff? You know, and like I was looking forward to even watching the Birds of Prey, thinking that would be on there like exclusively, but
yeah, why is Birds of Prey not on it? That's also strange. Well, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, and let's get into the other side of this coin, which is a little bit more tricky. We've all seen Gone with the Wind, right?
I have not. No.
No. What?
No. So I might have a different opinion on this than that I don't know.
What opinion? You haven't seen the movie.
I haven't seen it. No, I know. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, will you introduce her real quick so I just go into my rant?
Yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, so the story with this is HBO Max, in response to seeing the sensitivity and basically the nature of the world that we're migrating into, where we need to be a lot more sensitive to things, and looking into stuff like films that are clearly a lot more of, like, I don't know, maybe you could say propaganda for why the Confederates were good people and the Confederacy was good, and weird stuff like that, like Song of the South. What they're planning on doing is they've taken it off of the service. They're going to be putting a warning on before. They're not altering anything because they've said that is also a disservice because you're taking away history that shows like the problems that were there too. But there is going to be a disclaimer at the beginning. And I feel like this is now beginning to be a new theme because Disney Plus has also done this with Dumbo and some of their early animated stuff. So I wanted to check and see what you guys thought, Chaz, about the Gone with the Wind that you saw and have so much to say about.
Well, here's the thing.
Rants. Do I have music for a rant?
Yeah, do you have
No,
music
I
for a
doubt
rant?
I do. Oh well.
Want me to wait? No, you're good.
No, keep going. You keep going, and I'll find it.
Okay, so my thing with this is like, I'm not saying that I'm mad they took it down. Like, I get it, and I totally support the disclaimer they're gonna put on there. But what's pissing me off about this is that all these news sites are just saying they're taking it down, but they're forgetting the word temporarily, because that's what it is. Like, it'll probably be up in 2 weeks. And so it's being made a huge deal when like it's just going to have a disclaimer and nothing's going to be taken out of it. But my rant's coming up because I saw it was on there and I'm like, this is a movie my grandma loved because, you know, she like was born in the 1930s. Like, this is like something that she grew up with. And seeing that they had like the whole Turner Channel collection on there, I've been actually going down the movies in chronological order of the release dates, and that was coming up soon. So now it's probably going to fuck up my whole list. I might have to wait for it to be put back on before I continue that binge. That's my rant.
And I think that was a good rant. That wasn't as ranty as I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be getting some rage.
No.
You don't get rage from Chaz.
No.
His I'm going to have a freak out now, and it's just very leveled and like just a fair critique. He's like, so suck on that. It's the end of it.
I'm like Rainn Wilson in The Office getting mad.
I've seen Chaz mad.
What?
Oh,
Chaz mad a lot.
You probably have seen Chaz mad. Please, let's get a behind the scenes story real quick, because you two have worked together, and in what sense? Let's tell everybody. And what was your experience like?
Frankly, my fair, I don't give a damn. I just quoted Gone with the Wind. Nobody got that.
I talked over it. That was my bad.
Dang. No, I worked at Chaz for 2017. Yeah, we've known each other since 2017. First project we came on was a student film that he did called Secrets Within. He was crazy enough to cast me as a lead in that. I don't know why. But it was a good film. It was fun.
That wasn't my question. My question was, has he hit you?
Oh,
Where was the anger rage? Where was?
Fuck you! I'm trying to see that, you motherfucker!
I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Hey, I need Chaz to finish a series right now, so I can't piss him off. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Me and Chaz have a great relationship. He's never done anything wrong.
DM me later. Rosa, what do you think? Is this a good precedence to be set, or do you think? I haven't heard anybody say like this is going to be a spiral, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the right move. Just like you mentioned earlier, some of the earlier Disney animated films have a disclaimer on them, and there was a statement that was put out saying that it is going to be back up, and it's not going to be edited or anything. It's just going to be the way it is, and I understand why it's happening. It reminds me a lot of The Hunt when it was supposed to be released in the theaters, but then we had the tragic shooting going on, and they just decided to delay the release and everything because of just it wasn't the right time to release it. So it's understandable. I have seen the film. I watched it earlier this year. I understand why a lot of people consider it. Apparently, it's the most if you adjust the inflation and all that, it's like the highest
highest grossing film or next
film
to Avatar or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was okay. Filmmaking wise, I understand why it was considered, and it's very much critically acclaimed, but I wasn't really fond of it.
I think we all see like the side of this is a part of film history and needs to be like commended for that. And this is, I think, a good example, like you were saying, Rosa, of them doing something that's not taking away the art or whatever the project is, but they're making sure that you know what you're going into, you know, like a TV MA or like right before a South Park episode, basically, is what they're doing for some of this stuff, which I don't know is probably warranted in some cases. But there's examples of bad ones, and that was kind of the second half of this that I wanted to get into. Is I'm noticing a lot of streaming services editing films for weird reasons, and there's an example in a news story that came out today regarding Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. That's on Disney Plus right now. If you've seen that, they edited out a piece that is kind of revolved around like taking something like a cupcake that gives them like hallucination stuff. That scene has been edited. In Splash, you saw that they edited the part where she's running off into the beach, where the hair is now moving down even further in a Henry Cavill Superman mustache level of CG. Bad looking CG. It's weird to see streaming services take liberties like that. And some creators have come out against this. And so I also wanted to, I guess, double up our previous question with, where is the line with this? Are there creative choices that a studio just shouldn't make after a film is done, where you're taking away from the director, the process, and what the actual film is? What do you? I'll open this up to anybody. What do you think?
Who wants to go first? I say Landon.
I think it's wrong. Like, if you look at it this way, okay, VidAngel, what did they get sued for? Cutting people's films down. Like, you know, with this situation, these directors, these writers, this is their art. Like, this is what they made. Even the good and the bad with the bad CGI, that was for the time. Like, I went back and started watching films that I watched, you know, when I was a kid, and they're horrible now, but like, that's art. It shows you how things adapt and change with society. Things grow over time. You know, with Gone with the Wind, that was a classic back in the olden days. That was the first color film, if I'm right. Film turned to color. That's what I read. I don't want to get this wrong again because I'm already one up. I pissed off a lot.
I mean, I kind of want to say that's The Wizard of Oz, but
I was about to say that too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's The Wizard of Oz.
I thought it was Gone with the Wind, but
because I remember the big iconic...
Wizard of Oz was not.
It wasn't? Yeah, oh shit!
I got one
right. Yeah. See, I'm never gonna. If I get owned with shit, I'm just gonna take it. Like I will take it. I will take that.
I had actually looked that up before I said it because after this whole big comment, I'm like really on edge.
Right.
But,
we say the wrong shit all the time.
I know, but
no worries.
When it comes to comic books, you piss off a lot of people. But
yeah, we got those too. It's fine.
It's like an art. You know, it's just hard. You don't go redo the Mona Lisa because you want to change it for the times. You know, if people don't want to watch it, people don't want to watch it.
Now, what's the difference here then between a studio deciding to make this? And this is where I kind of go into, like, what's the dynamic? What's the scale between ownership for a producer and a director when it comes to a project, right? If Disney paid for it and they want a specific thing done with it, do they have the right to do that? Or if you're George Lucas, for example, and you've already made your stuff and fans love your shit, but you want to change it, is that almost as bad as the studio, where it seems strange that now everybody likes to throw in weird edits at it, but it's weirder that it feels like a nameless corporation that is behind doing it. I don't know. And it's not like it hasn't happened. I've looked into it, and there's precedents set all the way back to 1924 with a film called Greed. It was a 42 minute cut, and they had to shorten it to 24. Jeez. So there was already problems back then. Like there was test screenings that went wrong with Phantom of the Opera when it first came out.
Is that studio based though? That's all with the studio, right? They own the rights for that.
Yeah, well, that's my question. Is like, where is the, what's the line between that? Who has more right to it?
I want to. Okay, well, it depends too, because like, are we talking like studio or are we talking like independent studio?
I would say, as you, a viewer and a consumer, looking at a project that you love and seeing it changed by a studio or seeing it changed by the creator, or not changed at all.
If it was changed by if it was changed by the creator, I'd have more respect for it, I guess, because like that's their vision, right? I mean, how many times has Ridley Scott done Blade Runner? Like,
right, like ask. 12 times.
Yeah, you have to ask. Well, which cut? People are like, what do you mean? Then you get to go nerdy detail about that. But or like with Star Wars, with George Lucas, like, but they own that, and so that was their decision. But like, if you're talking about like Vid Angel, dude, like that pisses me off.
Yeah, because and I don't know if you know Rosa with Vid Angel. Like we're in Utah, it was really big for us. Like it was a company that took movies and made them LDS friendly, and essentially ripped out all the nudity, edited the swears, heavy edits though. Like Disney hasn't gone that far yet, but they're doing some stuff that kind of is going there. Plus, that dude was a pedophile.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Yep, that was a thing.
But like also like
I don't know what sound effect to use for that one. That's just a horrible fact.
Well, that's the thing though, because people like there's people that I know who said that like they saw a movie, right? And then you're like, oh, what'd you think of this? And they're like, well, I didn't see that part. And you didn't see the fucking movie. Like it ruins all conversations for films when you start thinking with it. And I think like if Disney owns a film, that's one thing. I don't know if they own Splash, like I don't know that.
Well, that's the thing. I think some of the stuff they own.
Okay,
and some of the stuff they don't.
But I mean,
the studio,
but don't own. I'm just like, don't put it on your platform for people to watch. Then, if you're gonna have to dink with it, like, move on. It's not right. It's not like you're taking a loss of money from that because it's freaking Disney.
It is strange to want to edit a film on the Disney streaming service when you have a Hulu service where you wouldn't have to edit it.
Yeah,
that is weird.
I have an interesting perspective on this.
Yes.
So. When it comes, and because I have kids too, so when it comes to Disney, especially the Disney Plus, Disney itself, the brand name, it's like synonymous with friendly, like family-friendly content, or like the theme parks and all this good stuff. So if I'm allowing my kids to go to the Disney Plus channel and then they want to watch movies and such, I'm okay with them seeing Splash and seeing the CGI. Seen in there, but I know there's a lot of people that have been calling it that it's being censored and so on and so forth. You can go on, rent it, and watch the lead characters, but if you want to, you can purchase it. The real film is still out there. It's just for this specific platform that I have no issue with. However, when it comes to editing films and like the entire film and the original film is no longer available to purchase or to rent, then I honestly don't know what to think about that. But yeah, that would probably be not something I wouldn't be particularly fond of, because like previously mentioned, it is art and you are making a film, and then for somebody to just come and do whatever they want with it, and then, yeah, it's not right. But when it comes to just a streaming service and it's just that CGI is just there, just on Disney Plus, I particularly have no issues with that. But because the original one is still out there, you can still see it, you can still rent it, you can still buy it. But when it comes to the other films and all such, then yes, I understand why the outrage and such.
That's a good point. And I didn't think about Disney also owning ABC, which is Bachelor in Paradise. Always edited for like they're in a like if someone's just like in a bikini and it's not like a anything thing. It's complete black bars everywhere. But nobody's getting upset and being like, "Why are you censoring them?" So why is why is it any different?
But why censor it? That was my question.
I
don't think The Bachelor is even a kids show. So like,
Disney
why
doesn't like
censor it?
butts is the problem.
Are they
They're
like the
anti-butt.
corporate vid angel?
They're anti-butt and they're anti-psychedelics, which is also strange. Did they edit Dumbo? Because Dumbo's all psychedelics, right?
Yeah,
that dancing elephant scene is very psychedelic. Fantasia is just an acid trip. That's all that show is.
Yes, it is.
I have a question. So I think I heard this right. I may have heard it wrong.
Wasn't
some of the rumors was a lot of the more hardcore stuff that Disney owns, like Deadpool or Logan, wasn't that going over to Hulu exclusive? Because like what Rose was saying is Disney Plus is more of a kid-friendly style. So a lot of their more edgy things are going over to be specifically on Hulu.
I know they do have edgy stuff moving over there, whether it's X-Men, because I know X-Men is right there already. They currently do have the X-Men, the animated series, and I think some of the movies.
Yeah.
But Dark Phoenix weirdly is an HBO, which is another thing about the contracts and stuff. I'm sure they probably had a license deal before they got the Fox deal done.
But why go through so much trouble to edit a butt when you could just move it to Hulu then?
Well, I guess here's my question, Rosa. Are you okay with the butt? Like, if your kids saw the butt, would you be very upset about the butt? Because I believe it's a millisecond's worth.
Yes, that's another thing, because me personally, no, it's human anatomy. I'm a science person, blah, 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 whatever. It's just the human anatomy. We all have one. And I honestly don't mind my kids watching that. However, not every parent thinks like I do. There's a lot of conservative people out there. So Disney, it's not there's a difference between being like a family-friendly thing and then just being like giving you lessons on how to be a parent or parenting strategies. So me personally, I wouldn't mind. It's just human anatomy. We all have it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't think like I do.
Would you be more uncomfortable with your kids seeing a butt from Splash or 5 minutes of Cats?
I have not seen Cats. I refuse to watch Cats. And
so I think we have a winner then.
Yeah, I don't mind my
Scar
kids.
Your children for life, or
right? I think I'm a bit more uncomfortable watching them more of a violent film than I am seeing something like Splash.
Yeah. It's such a weird time with streaming, and now everything's
Rosa,
transitioning over. What are the rules?
Going on violence.
Yeah.
Like, how violent are you talking? Because all of the Marvel movies, kid loves them, but like they have progressively gotten more violent and more dark, right? Thematically.
Right.
So like, how much is okay? Because like that's as action packed as you can get for PG-13, right?
Yeah. For me, I probably would not let my younger ones. When I mean younger than 10, and that's just me. But they're girls; they're not really into that either. My teenagers, I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
I just asked that question because like
I
don't know, because like I feel like Marvel being based off comic books, it means aimed more towards a younger audience, ish, you know.
Yeah.
But like what if they moved all that to Hulu and they just kept all the kid friendly stuff on Disney Plus, like all the family, like all the true family stuff? Because I don't think superheroes are family like oriented by any means, you know, because like that's definitely like I don't know. I'm just ranting. I might have you biased against Marvel, so like you guys can shut me the fuck up.
No, I'm letting you keep going. I like it.
Digging my own grave.
Let you run out of steam and no.
If you want to go deeper, I could go deeper.
Okay.
So my cousin took her 4-year-old to go see what was it, Dumbo, the live action Dumbo, and like the scene where they're taking Dumbo away from his mom, like that made her cry, like horribly cry. Like she was like, why are they taking away from her mom? Or we can go into Lion King when Mufasa dies. I'm not lying. It's like we can go deeper with this situation. Is like even these animated films, there's darker stuff in those than there are with a quick butt shot. Like you can honestly go deeper with how traumatized stuff like that can be towards a kid when a quick shot of a butt that you really don't even notice is shown. Like,
Oh, you notice it's shown in Splash.
Well, hold on. How about this? Both mermaid films both have something that should be censored. Should The Little Mermaid, if we go onto it right now on Disney Plus and we pause on the frame where that dude is walking up on the ship and he doesn't have a boner, then Disney is not a hypocrite. But if it's still there, if we see it there, because it's just as much of a thing, they should just put her hair on that part again. Like, that's just the copy paste to any edit. It's just a little patch of blonde hair.
Yeah, so there's that. I don't know. I just think like how, like, what are the limitations and like how do they actually consider what's family oriented and what's not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because like in America, I mean, this isn't political. I hope not, because I'm not meaning it to be. But like we didn't
spend all of last episode being political AF.
Well, I mean, we have normalized the violence in films, you know, as a culture. We have pretty much numbed ourselves to violence, and like each year, movies are progressively becoming more violent and like pushing boundaries of being PG-13 or R. You know, like what causes one to be PG-13, what causes one to be R? Oh, now it's just a couple fuck bombs. They can have all the violence in the world, but it's because they say fuck. No, it's R. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like they're focusing on butts or elements like parents or not parents dying. Landon, you got me on parents dying. That's not cut out. I'm just saying butts or anything that's, you know, more mature. They're like, oh, the kids can't handle that, but they can handle violence. Like, I think it's ass backward.
Ass backward. So funny. Well, what do you guys think about this? What do you think should be the guidelines for a company with the title that they're using on a streaming service that's made for kids? And what are the responsibilities with the content that you're putting out with that? Leave a comment down below.
As long as they don't become VidAngel.
Yeah, okay. As long as they don't become VidAngel and have an underground ring of whatever the crap that dude was doing. You guys can look that one up later. I'm not getting demonetized. Let's move over to the viewer question, which was found on Reddit because we again haven't put out any posts to get a viewer question. But I found this one and I thought it was interesting. What is a movie that you love, but if someone said that they hated it, you would completely understand why? I didn't even prepare an answer first for mine. This episode, I failed everybody. I'm so sorry. I think there's a few films that, like, I don't know. I'm looking.
Well, I always have to end up defending Interstellar. But ultimately, when they bring up they didn't get the whole third act, I'm like, I get it.
Mandy. That's my pick.
Mandy's a good one.
I totally understand why nobody likes that movie.
He was actually talking about my mom about that this morning.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, nice. I was telling her how you and I were talking about experimental films.
And
I'm like, yeah, you know, it's so great. And she's like, oh yeah, Mandy, that movie sucked. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but no, you're wrong. It's metal as fuck. Like,
you guys ever seen the movie Brick?
Yeah, with Ryan Johnson.
Is that who I think is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in that one?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like a noir film set in the middle high school.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson directed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite films of all time. And I've actually met a lot of people that have seen it that have not been impressed by it. I think it's just very unique. And honestly, that would be mine right there.
I think one that I still like is UHF, the Weird Al Yankovic movie. Like, you cannot like that film. That's totally okay. Most of mine are coming from like childhood films that are just like, I've grown up with them, so I can get if someone's like, I just don't have that nostalgia feel. But what do you think, Rosa? What is some of yours?
Some of mine, interesting. I have a tendency to praise a lot of films that are not very much critically acclaimed. One perfect example is Bohemian Rhapsody. I love
That's a great example.
I love that film.
I think it's the ending is pretty perfect.
Yeah, Yeah, and
Probably
yeah,
the
if you
only
look at
redeemable
the
thing.
huh.
Wow.
That's
Chaz
probably the only
is
redeemable
salty.
thing.
Oh, I mean, I understand why people don't like it and such, but I love that film and I unapologetically defend it.
Rosa, I actually saw that in sing-along. My aunt took me to a sing-along.
Well, that's why you didn't like it.
No, I actually enjoyed that. Like the crowd was actually singing along, like the audience in the
Oh, I
theater.
would
I'm
hate
like,
that
this is
so
fun.
much.
I had
I would
fun
hate
with it
that.
because I wasn't there for the movie. I was just there for like the experience. I didn't really care for the care to see the movie, but
Were you
anyways,
next to good singers at least though? Because if you had if you were surrounded by like
Oh.
tone deaf losers that are just
Oh, Patrick, it
is
was
this the
It was like
real life?
it was like drunk karaoke night.
Oh, nice. I think The Room is also one. Like The Room is bonkers stupid, but I'll watch it every year. That's one thing. That's a theater experience movie that you've got to go to a theater to do. Yeah, it's so worth it because the people go insane. Like they yell at the screen, they throw spoons at it, all kinds of stuff.
That's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It really is. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well,
We went to do it before the Disaster Artist premiered. They did a full thing at the Broadway theater, and it was insane. They had beach balls that they were just bouncing in the theater, and
Well, The Room's a good example of a bad movie being iconic because even though it was really bad, you still can't forget about it. Like,
I've already forgotten about
I
it.
did not hit her. I did not. Like, honestly.
like when you walk in on your parents. That's exactly what it is. You walk in and you're like, "Oh my god!"
I'm scarred for life.
And like you're never gonna go back in there, but you're never gonna forget what you saw. Like that picture is in your brain forever.
Right?
I'm not speaking from experience, Landon. I'm not.
Whatever, Patrick. I don't judge.
I'm not judging either. Just saying it stays with you.
Where's the crickets?
It's there's we have this is the crickets. I think these were pretty good answers.
Rosa,
thank you, anonymous
Redditor.
Redditor.
Cut you off?
What?
I'm sorry?
Were you gonna say anything else before I cut you off with the sing along?
No. No, that's fine.
Nice. Well, I wanted to thank all of my guests for coming on today and give you guys a quick chance to promote whatever you got going on. Rosa, thank you so much. You guys can check her out when the podcast comes back up, Latinx Lens, and again, she's the Hollywood Critics Association member. Yeah, where can the people find you?
Yes, I'm on every social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Rosa's Reviews. And yes, if you guys can go ahead and check us out, Latinx Lens, also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And yeah, we're going to be debuting on the 16th. So thank you very much for inviting me. This was a treat.
Is
Awesome.
is that going across all the platforms like iTunes and Spotify?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Sick. Landon, thank you so much for coming on too. I hope you both will come back. I didn't scare you off too much with this one, or it was like this was a train wreck.
I'm never doing a podcast again after my mistake I made about Bane and Joker. Never again.
We've already sent tweets
Like
to the
10 years
DC.
down. I'm getting offered a role as Bane in like 20 years, and they'll be like, "Wait, you made that wrong claim, didn't you?" I was like, "Dang it, I did."
Man, well, I know you and Chaz are working on stuff, but where can the people find you, and when will some of those newer projects come out?
So we're in production on Hollow Grounds. That's probably going to be a while before it goes out. We're still working on a few things there. I'm also delayed a little bit, but we're working on a feature film called What I Should Have Said. I have so many social media platforms that it would take forever because I've got like 7 Instagrams. So
Well, that explains a lot.
that does explain a lot. Well, I mean, like I've got one for like every film and every like my production company and my name and everything. So yeah, my name's Landon Casson. If you want to look up on Facebook, I'll give you everything else.
Woohoo! And Chaz, as always, my friend, thank you for coming on and steering the ship for me while I try to ram it into rocks and stuff. Where can the people find you? And we've got a show that is coming up, right? That's this week.
We do. Yes, it is. You can find me on Twitter and not Facebook. I don't like people adding me on Facebook. What do you call it? Instagram.
Don't fucking add him on Facebook.
I'm like, unless you live in Utah and you're part of the Utah Film Community, sure, like whatever, but don't do it otherwise, because no.
No, God! No, God!
No. But I have a new podcast episode coming out this Friday, Over and Under Artists Exposed, and you are the guest. I know we tried to re-record it yesterday because I had some audio issues, sort of. And it might sound like this on this. I don't know, Patrick. I guess we'll find out when you're airing this.
Well, it hasn't dropped off yet. You still sound good. Rosa, one of the things that always happens with Chaz's audio is he drops into a very low Adam Driver-like tone.
Oh.
And it'll happen out of nowhere. Like he just sucked a huge thing of desktop cleaner.
Does that lower your voice?
Just start slowing down.
Well, and I also released the first writing piece on Medium, so if anybody wants to check that out, you could go for that.
Very cool. And again, you guys can always find us at www.patrickbeattyreviews.com. The website has been revamped because I don't sleep anymore, and I worked on it. Maybe it'll be fun. Who knows? Check it out. Check out our merch store. And I want to thank my guests one more time, and we will see you all at the next review.